Martha Stewart on Netflix in 2024. Talk about keeping current. Martha Stewart is absolutely smashing it. I will come on to things like the Netflix documentary and who Martha is and stuff like that. We will come on to that and cover that in this podcast and stuff. And of course, we'll go over the documentary. But I just want to start with, she hates the documentary, don't you?
Does she?
Yeah, she hates it.
Oh, yes, she does.
She absolutely hates it. Like, basically, she's been going around bashing it. Like, going around to, like, all of, like, whoever will listen, to be honest. And she's just been saying how much she hates it.
Yeah.
Like, apparently the director had, like, weird angles, always chose the worst angle of her. And
yeah.
Yeah.
What, the leg crippling walk?
That bit where she's like, he was showing her, like, walking around, hobbling around a garden.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And she's like, oh, you're making me look like some old spinster. That's not what I am. I was recovering from surgery. You didn't even tell them.
That's
Wild.
true.
Wild.
That is true. If she's had surgery and they made her look like
hobbling around,
she's just like struggling to walk into her massive field garden.
Yeah.
Then that is tight, I guess.
Like picking her own veg and hobbling back to the kitchen, like
you probably felt sorry for her, didn't you?
Yeah, I did really feel sorry for her.
Like this really old 80-year-old woman, like just doing some gardening by herself, but she's barely walking.
Yeah, and that guy, the director's like, right, I'm going to tell him half a story. I'm going to tell him half a story and make her look like. I don't blame her for hating it when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Right tight.
Yeah.
She said stuff like she hated working with the intense director. And you know what? I kind of got a little bit of intense from him. Like, yeah,
but it's a documentary. You're supposed to, and they are supposed to be like that, aren't they? That's what they want. They want the juice. Do you know what I mean? They want the tea. You're here for a reason, and you okayed it.
Yes.
I mean, if you didn't okay it, maybe you should have stipulated what you weren't okay with at the beginning before rolling, right?
Yeah, bang on. Like, the one thing that sticks out to all of us with that director is where he asked her, innit?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you cheated on him first. It's a bit like he was one of the male Martha haters, which is a theme in the documentary.
Yeah.
The male-female theme.
Yeah.
Maybe he grew up like, I hate you, Martha Stewart. One day, I'm going to make an evil documentary about you.
Well, she said it was lazy. The documentary was lazy.
Yeah. And the music was lousy.
oh, yes, she did.
Yeah.
She said she'd rather Snooped.
Yeah, rather Snoop did the music for it. And do you know what? That sounds really cool. It sounds really cool, like Snoop Dogg music over a documentary about Martha Stewart.
It actually would have made it a lot more like funky, modern. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? More like relevant.
Yeah. It makes me feel like she's got really creative ideas.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah, she does still at her age.
Yeah.
She's giving some modern stuff out.
Yeah. She's got creative ideas. She's got a vision. She knows how she wants things to be seen.
Yeah.
And she basically, what she's saying, guys, is that she's going to make a version 2. She's like, we're making a new version. Like, you've now seen what crap looks like. I'm going to show you what a real documentary looks like. And so she's going to make another version of it, basically. So
she said
prepare for that.
Yeah, she said that they left a lot out and she wants a version 2.
Yeah.
I wonder what she thought was left out. I felt like it was quite a good documentary.
Yeah.
For someone who's watching it with not much info on Martha Stewart to begin with.
I feel like you knew some stuff about Martha Stewart. I didn't know anything about her, but you knew who she was.
I knew she was a big powerhouse. Like in America, she's like OG influencer.
So you knew that?
She's an influencer before all influencers.
I didn't know that. You knew that first.
Yeah, she's big time. She's done really well for herself, and I knew she went to prison for a little while, and then this really random friendship with Snoop blossomed out of nowhere after she came out of prison, and I thought, how friggin' random. I remember watching the roast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what they're still friends? Like, this is so weird.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've maintained that relationship like years after. Do you know what I mean? And they help each other like business wise. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, but very random. But it's cool, and I still think she's clearly very intelligent, very smart. Even for an 80-year-old, she's got very good creative ideas, and she's still doing really well.
She knows what's current.
Yeah.
I really liked what you said in that Snoop knows where the money is and where to invest his time and energy and stuff and make good decisions.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good point that you made. I thought that, that is bang on.
He does.
Because they've apparently collaborated really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like that. One thing that I just want to mention here while we're talking about the direction of the documentary and, her hating it and stuff, is that she's very much, she is like the pinnacle control freak. But with that, she definitely has good creative ideas. She knows exactly how she wants to be framed. And you can really see that she basically created and framed all of her own image from the beginning, which is what an influencer does before influencing.
Yeah.
She created that whole homemaker demand, which is just genius.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah, she was putting out ideas that nobody had done before.
Yeah.
Like if you look at even if you've not seen one of her books before or magazines before, you can see just from the clips from the documentary, like that ice cranberry thing and all those things that was never done before.
Yeah. Like
these show-stopping ideas that she had for these big events and parties, and she was cooking for tens and tens of people, maybe hundreds, and she's really smart.
Yes.
She's a genius creative-wise.
Yeah, she is, and she's a pioneer. She was one of the first women in Wall Street and stuff, wasn't she? She was working in a company full of men, and she was absolutely smashing it as one of the first women in there. I heard her mention something about wearing hot pants, to Wall Street, and I'm like, wait a minute. Did you earn the Wall Street stuff? What's hot pants doing in Wall Street? When you're the only woman.
Is that relating to her? Because she was a model at one point.
Well, I know that was a thing.
She did a bit of modelling.
But she was talking about working in the finance stuff when she mentioned this, and I was like, "What? You know that?" This was in an interview afterwards. But yeah, with her wanting to be a control freak, with her knowing how to be framed, with her being that first influencer, the thing with the documentary is you've kind of got to leave it open to somebody else's perspective, because that's the thing about a documentary or some kind of creative work. You've got to kind of leave it to somebody else's vision and ability. And the documentary was good. Like you were saying, we don't know anything about Martha Stewart. It did tell us a lot about Martha Stewart, a lot about the main points. One thing Martha said was that it didn't include her grandkids. She was saying that her grandkids are a big part of her life at the moment.
Yeah.
And the documentary didn't show that.
Yeah.
And that's what she would have liked it to have shown.
Yeah.
Instead it focused too much on jail and crime, which I did get. And she was like, that was only what?
A year or so.
Yeah, a year out of 58 years of my life or 65 years of my life or something.
Not even a year, I think it was less than a year.
Yeah, it was. It was 5 or 6 months that she was in jail.
Just literally a few months out of her 80-odd-year-old life.
Yeah, yeah. But we will talk about jail. We'll come on to that stuff. Go on.
Cutler, the director of the documentary, said, "I am really proud of this film and I admire Martha's courage in entrusting me to make it. I'm not surprised that it's hard for her to see aspects of it."
Yeah.
I think he learned that he was disappointed that she didn't like it.
Of course he learned. She was going everywhere, everywhere she could go.
But
anyone who'd listen.
That's a documentary. Sometimes you can't just have it your perspective, your way.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, he's going to want views. You know what I mean? We're not going to just make it all look pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
And not controversial at all.
Yeah, that's it. I kind of feel like she's been that model. She's been that it girl. And the thing that she kind of alludes to herself being quite a looker when she was growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was good looking.
Right. And I feel like she's kind of still stuck in that. And that's what she wanted to show in this part of her life. Glitz, glamour, and keep it that way.
Yeah.
Which is like, I'm sure you've got
She's
that.
got an image to uphold.
Yeah.
Keep.
Yeah. And she's still a little bit trapped in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. What I find interesting about her is that she was one of the first to make people buy into an image. So people are actually like buying into an image, which is all what Instagram has been for like ages.
Yeah.
And what influencing is all about, buying into an image.
Yeah.
And she was showing what perfection is.
Yeah.
How you aim for perfection. This is what perfection looks like. This is a perfect dinner table for Christmas or for this party or for that. Which was interesting because it alienated people.
Yep. I can see that.
Yeah. Unrealistic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Alienate people, but at the same time, it did intrigue people and give them something to aim for and emulate.
Yeah.
In a way, it's a bit like royalty in England. A lot of people are like, that's the example. That's what we aim for. That's etiquette. That's behaviour. That's this. That's poise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is wild how she was able to like create these pictures and videos of perfection. This is the quintessential American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's also like it's very attractive looking, that lifestyle. Like,
yes, it is.
And the pictures, the magazine, and that glamorous table, the setup for it, the dishes, everything that she puts on a book, in a magazine or whatever it is very attractive.
Yeah.
And you want to buy it, or you want to make that pie.
Yeah.
And of course, like, it's very inspiring for housewives.
Yeah.
Because they want to emulate, they want to copy it. But I also see the flip side, like, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
No one's got that money. No one's going to be going out buying new dishware every winter, every Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, no one's got a table like that. I'm not rich. No one's going to set up a tree like that. No one's going to put a Christmas tree that high.
Yeah.
That nice, that cute. So I can see why she's successful, of course. And I can also see why she has a lot of haters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she was also, like, don't forget, she was plastered. She was everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere.
Like, I don't live in the States, but I know she was plastered everywhere. I saw her face even in the UK magazines when I was younger.
I'd heard of her, and I know that people would like refer to her as like, who does she think she is, Martha Stewart? It was like that kind of context where I would hear about her.
But I think that's why, because she knew that, like, not every family can afford that kind of setup, that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that's why she entered the market that was for at a less price. Where was it? Was it Walmart's?
Oh, I think it might have been Walmart.
Yeah, so to make her, more relatable, she started selling products in Walmart.
Oh, right, okay. That makes sense. That's a good shout, because Walmart, I mean, that kind of level of supermarket is like bang on to make it relatable.
Yeah, like the everyday people can buy what Martha Stewart things at a good quality.
Yeah.
They can kind of copy her layout and etc. etc.
Yeah, and I feel like that's been one of her battles, because she's showing this picture of perfection, but her battle has been to make herself relatable, make herself like one with the public.
Yeah.
And I suppose we'll come on to relatability. That's what we will come on to that. I'll make sure that is ready for us and noted. Okay, so let's move on and let's start covering the documentary. Okay, so it's been on Netflix. It's been very popular. Prior to its making, Martha was very excited about it. She was going round before it came out, promoting it in certain places. And then since it's come out, she's been absolutely bashing it, which I just kind of love her more for it. And it's kind of true to Martha's character. It makes sense that she's gone and bashed it afterwards. Right, so it opens and it basically builds the image of how Martha Stewart was the first self-made female billionaire. And so what had she done? She'd come from quite a poor family. They were growing stuff on the farm. Yeah. And her dad was like pretty like strict and harsh, and did get like whippings and that. Yeah. So she does have some humble beginnings, which is interesting. But that's also where she learned to make a lot of what she made. She did go back to this whole nature, grow your own, lifestyle. Yeah. Grow your own, build your own. she even went into doing some like DIY stuff when she built her image.
Yeah.
In it, like build your own place, how to build your own XYZ.
She did a lot. Very talented.
It's almost the beginning of DIY YouTube, you know, which is big in itself. So anyway, so it starts off and she has them humble beginnings. A neighbour says, "You're quite good looking. My daughter's a model. You could go into modelling." And then boom, modelling career like explodes, and she does well. She does well modelling. She's like on like, did she get on front covers? Do you know? Did she get on front covers, Martha Stewart, modelling? Probably.
Modelling wise, I'm not sure.
No,
as a model, I'm not sure.
Okay,
but obviously later on in her career, she was on plenty of magazine covers on her own.
I'm not sure how she transitioned from there to Wall Street or finances, stocks and that, but she did.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how she did that. I've forgotten how she did that.
Yeah.
But she did. So
it was connected. It was connections.
Yeah, it was somewhere like it does have a link in the story as to how she got from one to the other.
I can't remember if it was like a boyfriend's dad or I can't remember, but it was definitely a connection there.
Yeah,
and that's how she got in. And everybody was, you know, judging and saying, you know, thinking a female in the industry is unheard of, basically.
But she was gutsy.
She smashed it. She did really well.
Really well.
She excelled.
Yeah, she absolutely smashed it.
Proved everybody wrong.
And then what happens? She moves away for a while with her boyfriend, husband. She moved away to a house in the country, basically, and that's where I think she started to like build her own.
Her husband.
Yeah, so she moved away with her husband. They had like a big place, lots of land, and all this. So he was doing well. Oh yeah, he was a publisher, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a successful publisher, and he had a publishing company, and he's doing well, and all this lot, and he's often away with work, and so she takes time now to build her own thing, and this is basically where we start seeing like the real Martha Stewart brand start to take shape, because now if you look at it, she's been in front of the camera, she knows how to like build an image of herself. She knows how she looks best, and she knows how, like, to a degree, vanity sells. Yeah? She knows how all that works. And now she starts building a brand into that and building, like, there's a demand here which she can start to satiate. And that's the whole homemaker brand.
Yeah, so at the house, this big place of hers, she had an assistant, didn't she? And I'm not sure what kind of situation she was in, but she didn't have a place to stay, and Martha let her stay at a part of her house. Yeah,
like an outhouse, like a barn type thing almost.
Yeah, separate to the main building, I think.
Yeah.
And she alleges that like the ex-husband and the assistant had an affair.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had a thing going on. And then, of course, Martha comes back and kicks out this lady from the house. You know, and, you know, this is where the topic comes up where Martha had, of course, done things which she admits to, like stepping outside of the marriage type thing and doing stuff. But, of course, the director comes in and basically says that your husband started doing that because you did it first and he knew about it. And you told him about it, basically. So, yeah. So it's a case of she did it more than once. And apparently he did it more than once too, according to Martha.
Well, she kissed somebody on their actual honeymoon.
That's wild. On their actual honeymoon?
Yeah, in Europe somewhere, Italy or something.
In some church?
Yeah. So on the actual honeymoon, she kissed someone. She admitted that. And then she had an affair with an Irishman when she was working on Wall Street. Yeah,
some Irishman who she like raves about a little bit. Is apparently God's gift. This guy. So she talks about that. But here's what I found interesting, right? So then she builds up her brand, okay, and this is where she smashes it. This is where the whole billionaire comes in. She creates the whole Martha Stewart brand, and then she puts that on the stock market. It's the mixture of things that made this happen is really clever. She'd been in front of the camera. She knows how that works, right? She knows how the whole vanity thing works, right? And she'd fallen into that because a neighbour had said, you can probably get into this. Let's get you in. So that's almost accidental, right? So she knows how modelling works. She knows how image sells. She does that. She aspires to go to work in finances and stocks. She goes there and does that. And then she puts them together. She creates this brand for the camera, for vanity, selling perfection. But then she also knows how to sell that on the stock market, float it on the stock market and get investment. Real clever mix of things happened right there. Such an interesting intersection of like skills and ability and chance all in one place at the same time.
She was well connected though.
Very.
Like she knew a lot of, powerful people, across multiple industries, and I think that's definitely helped her success.
And it really was all done by herself. That I find interesting. Like, it's not even a case of, oh, my dad came in, my dad knew this person.
Yeah.
My mum came in because she used to work with blah, blah, blah. Or my mum's dad or my uncle. It was her.
From what we know.
From what we know. So yeah. And so she creates this stock, Martha Stewart stock, whatever. Probably Martha Stewart Limited, I don't know. And then, boom. First female billionaire. And I think it ruffled a few feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely
I think it ruffled...
threatened a few people.
It did. Unfortunately, it was a time when that stuff ain't really welcome.
Yeah.
It's sad that, isn't it?
It's unheard of.
It's really tragic. Like, why?
A female billionaire.
That's so backward thinking.
Even for America back then.
That's very backward. It's very... It's tragic.
Yeah.
Like, innocent woman. Just a woman, just trying to build a life. Yeah, she's come from humble backgrounds. She's doing what she can. She happens to absolutely smash it. She's a billionaire. A lot of angry men appear. Is that what happened? You know what I mean? It's such a sad state of affairs that, like, people got angry over a woman absolutely killing it. I really find that sad. It's a real sad world that we live in with that being the case. And I wonder how far we are from that now. It's not that long ago, really, is it? I mean, all this is in living memory. I really find it sad when, like, these kind of segregations cause issues like that. And so, yeah, a lot of feathers got ruffled. People didn't like it. So she was kind of in the crosshairs. She was being targeted at that point. Like, you're kind of getting a little bit too big for your boots right here. So, watch it. Anyway, she's a control freak. She's a perfectionist. And she's doing well with it. She meets a boyfriend, a new guy, the Excel man.
No,
now
that's the same man.
No, it wasn't. First man was publishing man.
Yeah, who's the second one?
The second one is Mr. Excel, Mr. Microsoft, sugar.
Okay. You've forgotten about the
Excel guy?
Boyfriend.
I remembered the Excel guy because I was like, oh my God, this guy just blew my mind. Man's created Excel.
Yeah, okay. Did she marry him?
No. They were getting together. They really liked each other. Everything was really good. I think that had...
Oh, yeah, the boyfriend.
Yeah, the boyfriend.
Basically left her when she went to prison.
Well, after.
Yeah, basically she came out and said, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, like I got
it's
a new...
what it looks like.
I got a new woman, Basically, I think that they would have done well if Martha really was the image which she portrayed. She portrayed that perfect image, right? And if she really was that way, they could have been fine. That's what I think, right? That's what I think. Because I feel like the woman who he went with was basically like that, but out of the spotlight, I think, right? But oh my God, this guy, this like Microsoft Excel guy, let me just tell you a few things about this Excel man. This guy is a big deal, guys. He is a big deal, like massive. So he's called Charles Simonyi. He's from Budapest, Hungary. Currently aged 76. He's a software architect, right? He introduced the graphical user interface to Bill Gates for the first time, who later described it as the first of 2 revolutionary things he ever felt in his life. This guy showed Bill Gates one of the 2 things that basically changed Bill Gates' direction. Mental. A bit further on, this guy, this Charles, he started and led Microsoft Applications Group, where he built the first versions of Microsoft Office. Now, when I think Microsoft, all I think is Microsoft Office. Yeah? Later on, I think, oh yeah, Windows. Oh yeah, really bad phones. Oh my God, never buy a Windows phone. But that's all I think. Yeah? I don't really think about Microsoft Outlook, MSN Messenger, etc., etc. You think Microsoft Office. You think Excel. You think Microsoft Word. And that's this guy. He, massive deal. In April 2007, he became the 5th space tourist and the 2nd Hungarian in space. This guy's wild, even like till today's age. He is also, he's got a net worth in November 2022. His net worth was 5.2 billies. This guy is no joke. This guy is a serious guy. And he's the one that got away with Martha Stewart. That's the one that got away for her. You know what I mean? If only things took a different path. Honestly, that guy, when I heard that he invented Excel, I was like, oh my God, forget this. Forget Martha. I want to watch his documentary.
Yeah.
Give us that guy's story. So there they were. Anyway, she goes on. She's got this boyfriend. Things are going well. They're seeing the world. Yeah. She's building this image as a homemaker. And she's homemaking and influencing and absolutely smashing that. Then we get onto the action. Sam Waxall turns up and the whole insider trading. What did you think of this bit?
Unfortunate. I mean, I think a lot of people, was wishing to see, like, they wanted her to fail somehow.
Right.
So they were happy to see this go down.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, I don't know, there's rumours, isn't there? Like, a lot of people, like, think, like, it's planted, not planted, and she took the bait, or did she not? And end of the day, if she did something wrong, then she did something wrong.
Yeah.
And if she knew about it, then she knew about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's been punished. She went to prison for 5 months, and like she said, it's just a small part of her life, and she's still mega successful.
Yeah, big time. She's got a legacy, left a mark.
So yeah, I'm sure she learned a lesson.
Yeah, and I didn't actually think it was planted until you said that there. Then I thought, wait a minute, this could have been. However, it's quite convoluted.
Yeah.
It's quite a tough one to really plan, I think. Not impossible.
Yeah.
But a tough one to plan. Basically what had happened is there was a guy, Sam Waxall, and he had some kind of medicine, a new medicine, and it was doing wonders and doing great things. But Sam Waxall apparently knew that it's not going to get FDA approval. So this whole medicine is about to fall through. This ain't going to work. And so before that actually went through, like a day before or something, Sam Waxall starts telling people, like investors or whatever, that, guys, this is going to fall through. And of course, again, with Martha's knowledge of the stock market and investing, she knew what needed to be done. With some stocks, apparently, if you bet against it, you can make money. Now, I don't know if she bet against it. I think she just sold what she had, which is a bit mad. Because that meant that she could sell it at a high price, not lose money, probably still come out with a lot of gains. And in doing that, it drops the price as well as her knowing that it's going to drop. So it was interesting. So she basically sells it and then it tanks. Yeah, the actual stock drops because it doesn't get FDA approval. And then people start thinking, wait a minute, this was really suspicious. There were some interesting names, some interesting people who had dropped this stock just before it went down. This is an unusual one. We should investigate. So they start investigating. And one of the people on the list is Martha Stewart, along with people who are like Sam Waxall's family members. So a few of them, Martha Stewart, all of that appear, and they start digging into Martha Stewart. And for me, they kind of like launched her into the public spotlight too quick. She was all over the news, going to court, getting arrested, all this lot, without actual evidence at this point. It was a case of like, wait a minute, you dropped that stock. What happened?
What about that segment on The Early Show when she was just trying to focus on a salad?
Oh, yeah, that was after this. I'll come on to that, definitely. Yeah, we'll come on to that. Where she's chopping salad and she's getting like
Ambushed.
Grilled. Yeah, that was a proper amazing ambush, that was. I feel like she was basically labelled as guilty before doing anything, before they even looked into it properly.
Yeah, because they wanted to see her fall.
Yeah.
They were looking forward to that.
Yeah,
happening.
very much.
They wanted her to go down. She had enough haters, I think.
Yeah. It was proper, like, because they were saying stuff like, we feel like you've lied as to the reason as to why you've sold the stock. That's what the documentary said.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, you can't arrest someone because you think they've lied. Well, how does that work? And then same with like plastering her all over the news and that. Like, you're affecting her image, her business, which are linked.
Yeah, the media had field day with that for weeks. I think they were loving that, you know, the attention that it was bringing. And they, at this point, I think they were trying to prove that Martha knew about this insider news. And they, in the end, they proved it, didn't they?
Yeah, in the end they did. We'll come round to it. She had sold on the same day as Sam Waxall's family. Oh, it was called Imclone. I am Clone or something.
Yeah.
So that is very suspicious. To sell on the same day as his family, that's pretty stupid. That's not discreet.
Yeah.
That's a proper mistake, innit? Thought she'd get away with it.
So some guy rang her.
Yeah, I've got the info right here. So shortly after this, she's like, her stock drops like mad, right? Because like that information's coming out. Wait a minute, Martha, you sold on the same day as Waxall's family. Miss Perfect Homemaker, you're dodgy. And then that was it. That famous clip comes out where she was chopping salad. That was so crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Do you know what? They will not.
I give her credit for going on the show.
Yeah.
Doing that segment of making salad or whatever it was, you know, with all this negative news around her.
Yeah.
Like if that was now, nobody would go on to a show when they've got something, they've got a court case coming up.
Yeah. At least they wouldn't go on to a show without pre-prepping it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that Ryan's World podcast, which we've made a video about, where they will have like pre-prepped everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but with a big scandal like this, you just wouldn't really go on to a show to cook. Not really. I can't see anybody doing that like in 2024.
I don't know. You would if it helps your image. You would if you're trying to like damage control. You would if you can control the image and stuff.
I think she was brave for doing that, and she clearly didn't know she was going to be ambushed.
Yes.
She couldn't talk anything. She couldn't talk about it. So
yeah,
she was just pushed and pushed.
You can tell that like presenter was proper getting messages in their ear, saying, right, ask this, probe that, innit?
Yeah.
At this point, she's now hated publicly, right? I think this is where everybody who was like, you are not relatable,
Yeah.
really came out of the woodwork. You know, there's going to be people who, of course, are her biggest fans and aspire to her image and all that. But this was where the ones who hated her had a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Getting that spotlight.
Yeah.
And that's really what they did. So the guy who basically messed this all up was Douglas. Douglas was Peter Bacanovich's secretary, and Peter Bacanovic is Martha's like investment guy, right? So Peter told Douglas to tell Martha about the sale. So Peter told his secretary Douglas, right, to tell Martha about the sale, right? Now, he was treated badly by Martha.
Who was treated badly, Douglas or Peter?
Douglas.
Okay.
Basically, Douglas, of course, is the secretary of the investment guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think Martha likes small fish. If you're a small fish, if you're a small guy, a regular guy,
I can see that, yeah.
regular worker, Martha lets you know who she is, right? And this is basically what happened. Now, Douglas came out and said things about Martha being mean and stuff like that, and what she was like. Now, Martha comes back and says, "Wait a minute, am I not allowed to be mean? I'm just doing what any old normal man would do in the business world. Why am I not allowed to be mean?" And I've got to say, interestingly, Ellen, in today's day and age, Ellen's whole thing was the same angle.
Yeah.
Ellen said, "Not allowed to be mean in this industry." Very interesting, isn't it? Is a shrewd, strong businesswoman allowed to be just as mean as a man is? And in today's day and age, well, men are getting called out for treating people badly, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that. James Corden and stuff. So there is that. But it was Douglas who had basically come in and said something there that basically gave it away, where he had been one of the nails in the coffin. Now another one was her best friend. Do you remember her best friend?
No.
Her best friend, right, was somebody who Martha had like helped, taken care of. I'm not sure if she's taking care of her kids, but she'd proper helped this woman. The type of thing, do you know how she helped that lady who lived at her house? And then, of course, affared with the husband.
Yeah.
It was that kind of help. They would really help each other.
Okay.
I don't know if she was even godmother, but it's that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Right? They were really close. And then this friend turns up and she's like, "Yeah, I was with Martha at the time when she got that phone call.
Oh, yeah.
We were out on a boat, out on a cruise, chilling in the sun, having a great time."
Yeah.
And basically, after Martha had got the tip off, she said, "Isn't it nice to have brokers who tell you those things?"
That's crazy.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
What a friend.
Now Martha comes back and she's like, she was told what to say.
Yeah.
And so was Douglas, but definitely her friend. This friend of mine was told what to say.
Yeah.
And like...
She'd been bought.
Yeah. Orchestrated me getting sent down, killing my image. They never spoke since. That was it.
Not
it was
surprised.
Over. Yeah. Mad, isn't it? This is the whole thing about like getting bought. Are you bought? Are you paid for? Which is something that Diddy's saying nowadays. Diddy right now, in going through this whole court stuff, is saying, "Have you been bought?" Apparently, he's even going after influencers.
Yeah.
People who are making videos, even TikToks. Apparently, he is sending people after people who are making TikToks. And I don't know if he's
Oh my God.
saying that, "Are you bought?" or offering them money to shut up. He is still so powerful from prison.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Martha Stewart got stung by somebody who was apparently bought. Now she's in jail. And at 62 years old, which bed do you get? Do you remember? The bottom bunk. In jail, you get the bottom bunk. And there were people in jail looking to attack her. which I kind of understand, innit? She's like prim, proper, rich.
Yeah.
She's the upper crust. People in jail are like generally the opposite, innit? They've struggled for everything they've had.
But I don't think she had attacked, though, did she? She didn't get attacked, did she?
She didn't get attacked, no. But they were planning. People were planning it. And yeah, there were like talks of it, rumours of it. And then she got sent to isolation. She got sent to the hole, which is where you don't want to go in jail.
Oh, yeah. She touched an officer or something.
Yeah, she did. She touched a copper and she was like, I like this. It was like some part of their like uniform or something. And she was like, I like this. This is nice. And they're like, ooh, that's assault. Get her in the hole. And they put her in isolation.
Oh, God, poor thing.
I know. That was bad.
I remember that. She didn't have food or water for 24 hours or something.
Yeah, for I don't know how long they kept her in there, but yeah. Her boyfriend, Mr. XL, man, multi-billionaire, he visited her once.
Oh my gosh.
And then went partying across the world, which I get. He's like, look, I can't have you on my image, darling. I'll see you.
When I see you.
I'll see you when
on
I
the
see
other side.
you. Yeah, okay, sarah. Another
In the
Martine.
next life.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. In another life, this could have been us. One thing that I give Martha Stewart for is she reached out and she made friends in prison. She made herself approachable.
I think that's to keep her alive, though, really.
Definitely to keep her alive.
Yeah.
So I suppose minus credit. Because if she never had to do that, she wouldn't have done it, would she?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would believe that she just did it because she wanted to make friends.
Yeah, no, she had to.
You know, and she was generous and she was doing knitting and things
Got
just
involved.
because
she
liked them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Who knows?
I'd kind of really like it if we had stories of her with some prisoners, ex-prisoners, who she's helped turn their life around and really help long term.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
She says that they're in touch still, but who knows?
Interesting. I like that she spoke at this Muslim women's gathering and she gave good advice, and that was like one of her turning points. Yeah,
I think she shared like entrepreneurial advice and
for women and all this
business ideas and things.
Yeah.
It's all PR, isn't it?
It is. And then here we go, she gets out of jail. So it was only like 5 months she was in jail, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, you'd be all right for 5 months in jail.
Yeah. For someone like her, though, it must have felt like a lifetime.
Yeah, at her age to go in jail, 62, you've built your life, and then that happens. Quite tragic, quite sad. But she's very strong, as we're about to carry on and see, really. She comes out of jail and she leaves in style. Mr. XL, boyfriend, sends his aeroplane over.
Yeah, private jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she left and, like, she's still Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like...
Yeah. And they celebrated her when she came out.
They did.
They were like... she was not forgotten.
No, she was not forgotten.
She was missed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. She was bang on, still current, everything's still good.
Yeah. And
she felt invincible when she came out. She was like, I've survived that, now they can't destroy me.
Yeah.
What are you going to do now? I've been to jail. What are you going to do to me now?
Yeah.
Which is interesting and inspirational in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
She came out and she was wearing a poncho knitted by one of the inmates.
Yeah. I saw that. People were like, what the hell is she wearing?
What are you wearing? Jail chic going on. Isn't it?
Like, she would never wear one of those.
Yeah. I like that she did that, though.
Yeah.
I think that prisoner who made it as well got a really good buzz out of it as well. It would have been cool if she named the prisoner and the prisoner became a designer.
Trying to be relatable. Also trying to make it look like she made friends.
Yeah. And in a way, this may have made her relatable to a lot of people. I don't think it was her biggest moment, that's yet to come, but...
Yeah.
A step in the right direction.
Yeah.
It may well have checked her ego.
Yeah, I definitely think it humbled her.
Yeah. Yeah. Put her into a situation where she had no control, really. She comes out, right? She gets her own TV show made by the creator of The Apprentice. And she wasn't enjoying the show. It wasn't authentic and she called it worse than prison.
Yeah.
Do you know much about that show? Do you know much about what happened or anything like that?
No more than what was shown on the documentary, that little clip.
Was it The Apprentice? Was it like Martha Stewart's?
No, it was like literally, one of those shows that they have in America where like they just have people on. And,
like an Ellen.
They have celebrities on and they do like random things. And,
like an Ellen or an Oprah and stuff.
Yeah.
I get it. And it was all like very forced. I get it. She's very much a solitary bee, isn't she? Mm-hmm. She's very much like,
she's pretty much like the one-man show. I need to direct this.
Yeah.
I need to put the cooking show segment here. Then I'm going to do this. And she's very organised and she likes to know it all and do it all.
This is the guest. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
She's a real creative.
Yeah, so she didn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then she has also had the Martha Stewart Apprentice show as well. Right.
Tell me about that. When was this?
I don't know much about this. 2005.
Was this before Trump or after Trump or during?
So it's part of his series. So it wasn't. It was part of Trump's, but not Trump's. Not a Trump one. Basically.
Almost like Trump on a break and she takes over.
Yeah,
almost.
I think so. Yeah, I never watched it. I want to watch it.
Yeah, it'd be cool to watch that.
I watched it. But yeah, Trump said that Martha Stewart ruined the ratings
sugar.
For that season, whatever season it was, season 13 or something.
You know what though? I can see why he would have used her. Although she ruined the ratings, I can see why she's a decision.
Yeah.
I love the whole women in business thing. Great.
Yeah.
Apprentice, of course, UK has got a male boss. America, male boss, Trump. So great to have like a female boss on it. That's one. 2, she's very entrepreneurial. Did a lot of different kinds of tasks like DIY, house building, making.
I'm surprised that it flopped. I thought it would have been, pretty successful.
Yeah. The thing is, Trump can say like quite controversial things. He may not necessarily, have those facts, and he could just be saying that about her.
I know that Bethany Frankel, my favourite housewife, was nearly on the show, on the Martha Stewart Apprentice.
Almost, wasn't it? Or
No,
was she almost on the show? Oh, she didn't make it on the show?
I don't think she made it on the show.
Oh, interesting.
She spoke about it recently, so we might have to dive into the Bethany Frankel story another time.
Subscribe for that. In this time, while she's got this TV show going on, which was worse than prison, her boyfriend went and married another woman and disappeared.
Yeah.
It was a whole case of, me and this one are getting together. I'm never going to see you again. See you when I see you, que sera, sera. Bye-bye, darling. Excel spreadsheet. Right. She ended up selling or putting her brand up for sale. She wasn't able to be CEO due to a conviction. Oh, yes. She was no longer able to be CEO of her own brand.
Oh, yeah, she had to step down.
Because of the conviction.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. So that must have been like an American law or something. Because I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. This is my brand. This is my business. I make the rules. I've now changed that rule. CEO is allowed to be a convict. Do you know what I mean? If you have been convicted for 6 months or less, you are allowed to carry on as CEO. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, wait a second. This is your own thing. How are you not still the boss, mate? But no, she got chucked off. That must be American law, innit?
Yeah.
So she got chucked off her own business. Martha Stewart was not CEO of Martha Stewart. I think it was a media company that she had, which again makes sense.
It's Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia, isn't it?
Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia. Wow, bit of a mouthful. Take Omni out of that, please.
Yeah, so, you've got directors. It's not just all about her, there's other shares involved and, you've got to...
So it's not a dictatorship, which is what she needed.
So, yeah, she's got felony charges and it is what it is. You have to step down.
Well,
It would have been better for her to step down anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's her baby, innit? It couldn't be more her baby. It's
I know,
tight.
but she's not lost it. It's not going anywhere.
I suppose, as long as she can get it back one day. So, she ends up selling up. Off she goes. And she said, learn something new every day. And when you're through changing, you're through. Which is a quote of hers which I like. She was all about learning, developing, and that learning keeps her young and keeps her current. And she goes, when you're through changing, you're through.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting that? Keep changing. Don't stay comfortable. It's a very healthy ethos to live by.
Yeah.
And you can see it in her.
Yeah, she's very resilient.
Whew.
I mean, she graced the cover of Sports Illustrated American magazine last year, 2023, at the age of 81.
Oh, I think she was like record oldest or something, wasn't
Yeah.
she?
The Sports Illustrated, you're probably not aware. It's like they have like fit models on. They have like Chrissy Teigen on, for example. They have supermodels on and models on, celebrities. Obviously young, good looking. And then Martha Stewart comes on last year.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So obviously she's still very relevant, very, she still looks good for her age, and she's still quite popular.
Yeah, very current.
She's still really popular. And if anything, I feel like back then, pre-prison days, she was probably, she had more of an older audience. I would say now, maybe Snoop influence, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like now, I feel like she's very young and older.
Yeah, she's
audience.
got a bigger range.
Yeah, very diverse portfolio, and fair play, she's done really well. Like, if anything, I think she's more successful post-prison.
Yeah, and she's still got that very much American Pie image, like that American.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's one of those where, like, parents who want to pass down someone, or this is who we used to watch when we were younger.
Yeah.
And then the kids who want to bond with the older generation, they'll use Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
And she's still got that prim and properness about her.
Yeah.
She's still maintained that image.
Yeah, she has. And I actually like that she has that attitude. It's
that feistiness.
Yeah, it's like that, that hard exterior.
I'm a
really
boss.
Bossy. Because it's that attitude that's got her where she is today.
Yeah. Speak
Do you
your
mean
mind.
that resilience, that hard working, that grafting nature? Like, not many people have that in them. So, like, I think she's very inspiring.
Yeah, she is.
I didn't know a lot about her before this documentary, but I still, even with the the felony and stuff, I still find her very inspiring. And she's very much like Bethany Frankel, an older version of Bethany Frankel, who I think is very inspiring too. So yeah, she's not stopping, is she?
No, she isn't.
At the age of 83, she's still going. She's
Full
still
speed.
doing things.
Yeah.
And she's still up for doing things like, with Snoop, with collaborating with others. She's still very present on social media.
Yeah.
She has an Instagram account. She's very active. She posts. She does things.
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
So yeah, I love it.
And apparently, like, her social media, when she got onto it, was really on trend. Like, everything was really on trend, almost trend setting.
Yeah.
People like, you've got to follow Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
My equivalent is Michael Barrymore.
Yeah.
Follow Michael Barrymore, guys. He's a celebrity from England. He disappeared a long time ago in terms of like celeb life. There was a controversy and stuff, but his stuff is always bang on trend, and he's always uploading.
Yeah.
He's just gone on TikTok and absolutely smashed it. So I see him like that, like just making all the right choices.
Yeah. I was going to think of like a British equivalent, but I don't think there is one.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think the only like cook, chef person, lady I could think of is Delia Smith, who's British, but she's not really a Martha Stewart.
Yeah, she's not a household brand.
Yeah, just she cooks. And,
she's more
she's very respected in that sense.
Very much.
Martha Stewart is more than that.
She's
done
out
a lot
of it.
more than that. And she's done a lot more in her life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's been more successful in that respect. So I can't actually think of a British version, but if anybody can think of one, write it in the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or even like from any other country or culture.
Yeah.
Anybody else who's like that. I think she was a pioneer and a powerhouse. Go on.
But I feel like, you know, that Ice Queen image that she has or had, her social media, that's the new way of making her relatable now. And like not only like keeping with the audience from her past, if they're still there, if the fans are still there from the past, but she's generated, you know, new fans now, younger fans, and they do look up to her. They do think, oh, she's pretty cool. Martha Stewart is cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what it is, right? She was ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Right. And she was ahead of her time. She's showing this image of perfection. Yeah. She's trying to influence others with this image of perfection. She's selling it, right? Now, that was at a time when it's not acceptable. And what I mean by that is nobody else can do that. It's too out of people's reach, right? Now, or at least when Instagram was top dog, selling perfection, showing perfection,
is the norm.
It's
the norm.
It was
now.
so normalised.
Yeah.
Yeah. People slowly got over it and they were like, listen, this is not real. This is just perfection that everyone's showing, right? But that was... Basically, we are now ready for that.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart can be very comfortable now showing perfection and going down that route because we'll understand it.
Yeah.
Now is where, like, she is relatable if she does that or not.
Yeah, because that is like, that's where people go to get inspo.
Yeah.
Now.
And it'll be taken as inspiration.
Yeah.
It won't be taken as like, oh my God, that's so out there.
Whereas back then, it's like, oh my God, who does she think she is? No one's going to do this.
Yes.
Who the hell does she think she is?
Yes.
Like, no one's got this. Who's going to set up like this at Christmas?
Only this one person.
Yeah.
But now we're in a world where we get it. We get that. Look,
yeah,
this is
we actually aspire for that. You know what I mean?
This is inspiration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's not showing off. She ain't flexing. She's basically helping us. We can do a budget version of it, or we can just take bits from that image. You don't have to do the whole thing. So we're now in that place. She was ahead of her time, and you'll get that often, where people are ahead of their time and they're kind of vilified for it, kind of hated for it.
She's now appreciated.
That's right.
Full 180.
Yes, later on.
And I think the roast really helped her as well.
The roast. You've said it, and that's our next point. So, the roast, right? This is the Justin Bieber roast, okay? I don't know what they were talking about with Bieber going to jail. I don't get that bit, do you?
Bieber going to jail?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I don't know why. They were going down this road of like Bieber's lifestyle is going down a road of him going to jail and stuff. That's why Martha Stewart's joke was about him going to jail. And her joke was how to make a weapon. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But
missed it.
Yeah, so that's what they're talking about. Right, so that roast, for me, that's the turning point. And I think for a lot of people, that was one of the first times that Martha Stewart had come back into the spotlight. One of the first times she'd come in and done something which was like, not Martha Stewart. What are you doing? Got a Justin Bieber roast with Snoop Dogg next to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are you doing? So there she is. She's at the roast and she's making jokes, and she was saying that she was sitting next to Snoop, who was smoking, and she was getting higher and higher as the show went along. Right? Which is just hilarious. And then she came on and she made her jokes, and she wasn't prim, proper Martha Stewart. Instead, we got the Martha Stewart who's done time.
Yeah.
Done jail time.
Yeah, and she embraced it.
And she ripped everybody. The jokes that she came out with, she humiliated people.
Yeah, but we thought that, I thought that she's not really going to openly talk about her time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In prison.
Yeah.
She is going to be a bit sensitive, a bit touchy maybe. She won't like that.
Yeah.
But she embraced it. She was like, I went and did it. And like she was saying her own jokes about it. She was joking herself.
She was really funny.
She was really funny. She smashed it.
No joke. I had seen that roast years ago.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd actually seen who Martha Stewart is.
Yeah.
And then heard her tell jokes, and I was like, whoever she is, she's a funny lady.
She's funny. In fact, I thought she was the funniest one. And it came across natural as well.
Yeah, it was very natural. She fit in really well. Like, she may have to go to more roasts. It would make sense for her to be at more roasts.
I think it's also because it was just so unexpected.
Yeah, well, for me, I didn't even know anything about her. So I was like, I didn't know what to expect. But for you then?
I was like... It was like watching, I don't know, a queen, a royal family member roasting. It was so funny. I mean, that documentary reminded me of it, and I still thought it was funny watching it a second time. Yeah, she's funny.
See, you will have had the experience that everybody else had, because everybody else knows who she is, and obviously I don't know who she is.
And the thing is, right, like, people like, you know, she you know, she can be a bit mean, she's attitudey, and she's a nice queen, and she's not a friendly person, she'll talk down to you, and the people that she's worked with have said that about her. But often, I think anyway, often people with attitude are hilarious.
Yeah.
They say funny...
Yeah, it's true.
They say funny stuff all day long.
Can be. If they're funny, they're hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not the one that, you know, she's aiming at, then more funnier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can actually see, I bet she naturally is hilarious.
Yeah. And that roast, that made her relatable.
Yeah.
That was the turning point. Now she's relatable.
Yeah, she's back now.
Now, bang on bullseye. Now she's relatable. Now she's back in the spotlight. Now she is the current Martha Stewart.
The cool Martha.
The cool Martha. They can bring her back in. They could invest in her again. You know, she can be used again.
Yeah.
And Snoop Dogg, he saw the opportunity.
Yeah.
And he
went in.
That's it. He passed it to Martha and they discussed it.
She's mine to collab with, and that's it.
Yeah. Like chalk and cheese, they smashed it.
Yeah.
Just such a clever pairing for both of them. It was mutually beneficial. He got a new audience, people who would never look at him, right? And she got a new audience, people who would never look at her. Amazing. Two worlds just mixing again. And again, for me, this is chance again.
I don't really know what they've collabed together, but I just know that they've got a good relationship and they give each other advice on stuff.
Yeah, but what it is, Snoop's audience will be watching Snoop. And by extension, they'll be watching Martha. And same with vice versa. I know that they've done things like cooking shows. Basically, they've done like the homemakery stuff with Snoop in the scene. And then apparently they did some with like Olympics. I think they were just watching the Olympics together, not like talking about it. Yeah. Snoop did that with Kevin Hart, and that was another really perfect pairing. Snoop is really versatile, you know. People don't realise how versatile Snoop is. He's very clever.
Yeah.
He even streams online. You know, he's a streamer.
No.
He's a streamer and he's hilarious. There's a clip, right? this viral clip where he left his stream on and he didn't know. And he went out for hours, and then he comes back and he's just like, he walks in and he's like checking his pockets and doing stuff and just back in his old world. And he's like, huh? The stream's on. Like that. And it's like proper. It's really good. He's funny. He is funny. Yeah. So after that roast, she embraced social media. The culture found her again. And I've got a note here to remind you of some dead journalist.
Oh, in the documentary, this was a little bit on the mean side, I guess you could say. She was, I don't know where the conversation got to, and I think it was in the confessions, in one of the confession scenes, where she mentioned this journalist name. I can't remember the name now.
Right.
Oh no, she doesn't say the name in the documentary, but we've all gone away and done our research, and we now know who that person, that lady is. And she says in the documentary, blah de blah, but fortunately she's dead, so we don't have to read any of her articles ever again, kind of thing, because that person was, a bit of a hater, basically.
Wow.
And had written not so nice words about Martha when she was down, like kicking her a bit more when she was already down, kind of thing. So she's got they've got a mutual hatred, let's say.
Wow.
And but we've found out that she actually isn't dead. this lady.
Oh, so Martha had said that this journalist is
and
dead.
she knew what she was doing because, people I don't know where you would have got that from.
That is a really dark dig.
So clearly she,
That is a really dark
made that
dig.
up.
That is dark.
I don't know why she would make that up. I mean, we do know, but,
Martha, the levels.
So, yeah.
That is proper dark,
Yeah.
That is wild.
She's not dead. She's alive and, well, I believe. And, and I think she's made some comments about the documentary and stuff, but I can't remember what was said.
Right.
Go research, go read it. But fascinating. She's got a lot of haters.
She will have a lot of haters.
She's got a lot of haters.
This is the thing. Like, to be a successful influencer, to be successful in the public sphere.
Yeah. When you're rich and famous, you're gonna get haters. If you're just famous, you're gonna get haters.
Is it a necessity? Is my question.
Yeah.
It basically is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have,
you're gonna get them anyway, regardless.
There's not going to be anybody out there who hasn't got them and who's in public sector or public sphere, public eye.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
You're gonna generate hate.
Sadly, it's almost an indicator of doing something right.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Wild, that is.
I mean, look at the Kardashians. How many people hate the Kardashians?
I don't know much about them, to be honest with you.
So,
They got a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
The ex-husband and wife. So the ex-husband, Andrew or Andy.
Okay, yeah,
Stewart.
Andy.
And his wife is called Shyla.
This is the publisher, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
So they have watched the documentary and they've put out a post. They've commented basically.
Right.
And they said that Martha's claims had been sensationalized.
Oh, okay.
As in her relationship with Andy and all the affairs.
Oh, wow.
Kind of thing. And that Andy isn't really entertaining it. He doesn't wish to entertain it, doesn't want to give it any attention, spotlight at all. And he's moved on. And Shyla, this is mostly Shyla who said this.
Okay.
Andy doesn't want to comment.
Right.
But she's kind of speaking on their behalf.
I get it.
Both of them.
Mm.
And she wrote that Andy had a painful and abusive marriage to Martha and that it was like a dark past in his life. And since their divorce, he's moved on, he's moved forward, and he's in a much more peaceful place. Whereas, basically implying that, whereas Martha is still stuck, basically.
Scorned
a little bit, a little bit bitter old lady kind of vibes. And, because she has been, she does talk about their past marriage to the public, in a negative way. So I get where she's coming from. And according to them, life for Andy has been filled with positivity after his marriage with Martha. And, and they wish to, keep their lives out of the public eye.
Yeah, move on, be healthy, focus on the positives.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good ways of doing things.
That's their
interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose, one thing moved on. I mean, that husband moving on and getting on with his life is one thing. The other guy the XL man, he was like, yeah, I'm moving on. I'm not going to be in touch. This is it. Done. And then he stuck to his word. So it is interesting that they've come out and they've said that and they've made their statements. One thing I almost forgot for me, which is one of the most memorable scenes in the whole thing, was not when she was cutting salad on that TV show and getting ambushed, when she had some staff in her kitchen cutting some things. Cutting
an orange, that cutting orange scene. I think that's the comment that journalist mentioned.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was her. She mentioned, I'm not dead, I'm alive. And she wrote a big paragraph. And then she also added in the scene where you was so aggressive towards your kitchen staff because they used the wrong knife, because they used a knife that was too small for an orange, confirms how much of an evil person you are. Basically, that's what she wrote.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah. I get it. I mean, that scene stuck with me, you know. I was like, because whenever we're watching documentaries, whenever we're learning about a person, we're of course looking for the real person.
Yeah, and the director, well, they clearly left that scene there for, you know, to make us feel a certain way about her. And I don't know, I feel like that's pretty normal. No, not normal as in like maybe her choice of words could have been better, the tone of it could be better.
Yeah.
But I think that's okay though. It's okay to direct and, you know, teach your staff how to cut an orange. Like use this knife. This is an orange knife. This is a bread knife. Like I think that's okay. But yes, the tone and the way that it was executed could have been a bit better.
Yeah, it's
but,
not
you know,
what was
you're
done.
Talking to a very successful older woman, you know, and she's got standards. You know, she has expectations, and she probably just forgotten that, you know, she was on camera for a second as well. But
yeah, that did really give us a bit of the real her, which is quite, you know, it's quite sad because we want like to get a nicer image of people in general, and I think, and part of me, I get it.
But at the same time, I kind of expected that from her as well. Like
that is her.
Yeah. I didn't think, whoa, what's going on there? Like, I expected that as well.
If she didn't do that, and if she was gentle, we might think, wait a minute, that's not you.
Yeah. Because if you saw, like, this happens in the kitchen, guys, in normal restaurants. Chefs shout all day long at their staff.
Yeah.
Would you bat an eyelid at
I get that.
chefs with training their staff? Like, you just think that's normal.
But here's the thing. That's a good example. This is what I'm going to come on to. Now, if Martha was training that staff member, and when you train your staff members, there's a degree of care. I care about you. I care about your education. I care about your future. You want a certain thing you're aspiring to. I'm getting you there. And this is tough love, and I'm training you to it. Fine. In that situation, it's acceptable. But I think that this was just a lady working for her who didn't really have, like, I don't want to be Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
If this lady was like, I want to be Martha Stewart, let bring me into your life, then I get it. But this lady was just like, hey, I'm just cutting an orange. That's one thing. Other thing is, Martha was saying to her, if you cut with a small knife, you're going to be here all day cutting. Right? And this is a thing. When you've got employees or other staff that you're in charge of, efficiency matters. And all she's basically saying is, this will make life more efficient.
Yeah.
You'll be quicker. You won't have to do this task that long. You can carry on. Maybe that worker was just like, I want to spend an hour doing this, and then it's time for break, and then all I've got to do is 10 more minutes.
I just think she's just a perfectionist. Like, I need to know when her birthday is and see if she's a Virgo like me, because I get it. She's just a perfectionist. Like,
she is a perfectionist.
And people don't realise, like, you can't switch perfectionism off. You can't. Like, it's just in you. It's hard to shut up. If I see something that's, like, not been done right, I'm going to either say something or I'll just do it again myself. That's
what I was about to say. The worst thing is you'll just take over and do it yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, just let me do it. But there are people out there who will intentionally do it bad in front of your face, knowing that you're watching.
Yeah.
Because they know all I've got to do is one more bad cut and then they're going to take over and I'm going to go for break. You know what I mean?
What's that? Incompetence.
Weaponized incompetence.
Yeah. Husbands.
Weaponized incompetence, guys. Husbands what?
Husbands. Full stop.
Husbands, like, secret weapon. Well, yes and no, innit?
So, yeah, I get that scene, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not okay with it, but I am okay with it.
Okay, I get you. So that one stuck with me, and of course the insider trading. And do I think that the documentary focused too much on her crime?
Do you know?
Yes. But
a little.
We all want to know the ins and outs of that crime. The rest of her life we can kind of make sense of.
Yeah, maybe there should be a part 2. And I also was thinking as well...
Is this what you're going to say? Do you know? That's what you're about to say? Okay.
Afterthought. Where was the daughter in this? She clearly maybe didn't want to be involved in the documentary, but she has a daughter, doesn't she?
I don't know.
Yeah, a grown, adult daughter. that she shares with her ex-husband, Alexis, I think her name is. And it would have been interesting, a different insight, having a family member in the documentary.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have anybody, really, in this whole documentary.
That's one of her criticisms.
So it was all just Martha.
One of her criticisms is that, like, I'm close to my family, my grandkids are my future, that's who I spend all my time with now, and they're not there.
Yeah, so that was interesting. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened there. But yeah, other than that, like, good documentary, really.
Yeah, good documentary. You're looking out for version 2. I want to see the Snoop remix. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I think Snoop needs to sample some Martha on a new track coming up.
She's done so much, though. She has done so much in her life.
Yeah, she's pioneer, isn't she? 100 books. Just under 100 books.
Yeah. Yeah. Modelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stockbrokers.
Yeah.
The magazines where, like, nobody wanted to take her on. They didn't see that vision. They didn't think that she was going to sell magazines. She isn't that influential enough to have a magazine on her own. And then she did it.
Smashed it.
She did it, and it sold so many copies.
Wow.
That was one of the first of its kind. Do you know what I mean?
That's crazy. So that was like a living magazine.
So imagine like Instagram, but magazine.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be like magazine with the technology back in them days.
Like multiple, like many, like home cooking.
Wow.
Different ones, you know what I mean?
I bet she's done like 1 million shoots. Innit?
And I like the way that she directs the shoot as well. You know, like how she puts, I don't know, the cake on the cover. Like what else she puts around it, and she just makes it. She's an expert. She's an expert. She's a genius at making things look good.
Yeah, great perspective.
Yeah,
and great creative vision.
Yeah.
I could see that. From the little that I saw, I mean, they didn't show much of it in the documentary I found, but there were some clips when they were talking about how she rose to where she was, and I could see how that was, for the time, bang on perfect. In fact, to a degree, timeless.
Yeah.
You know, you think things look aged sometimes, but I could still see that image would still work now, even as a nostalgic feel.
And it's that mentality, you know, that attitude and that perfectionism. Amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
We saw her on an interview. I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, it was Jimmy Kimmel, I think. Anyway, one of them guys.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Kimmel.
And he was talking about the new, like, she's got a doll for Christmas, like them Christmas elves or whatever you call them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she's got her own one, which is Martha on the mantle, and you've got Snoop on the stoop or something like that. And we could see there was a little bit of visible fear in Jimmy Kimmel's eyes that we could see, because you just know that she is so specific in just everything.
Yeah.
And you just don't know if this ends, she's going to go backstage and give Jimmy Kimmel and staff an earful.
She just has that aura that, you know, like, she ain't going to stand for anything. If you annoy her, she'll put you straight. She'll tell you.
And she's maintaining that. Like, we're still seeing that, because she made this documentary and then come out and she slated the documentary publicly.
Yeah.
So if she don't like something, she is going to say it.
Yeah, she takes no BS.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. I mean, kind of scary in a way, like. But
but is that scary because she's a female? Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's
because she's a female. Not of me.
Yeah, but I like it though. It works.
It is good. Because it means that you've got to be good at what you do. If you're confident in what you do, then you ain't going to be scared of anything. Let her say what she says. You can only take it as something to grow from, if it's true, at least, and accurate. But yeah, that was Martha Stewart and the life and times of, and of course her recent Netflix documentary, which we enjoyed. Again, looking for the second version coming out. Anything else? Any other points from you before we say ta-ra?
Not that I can think of.
No? Nicely covered?
Yeah.
I agree. We will catch you guys in the next one, and hit subscribe, hit like, hit share. Thanks for listening and watching, and we will see you guys later. Take it easy.
Bye.